You don't need to train heavy to grow muscle. If you're a Mike Mentzer fanboy, this video might offend you. Soon to be, Dr. Milo Wolf here from Wolf Coaching. Today we're talking about training heavy and whether or not it's necessary for hypertrophy. Well, it's not. Several recent review papers have all found that you can grow muscle just fine whether you're training heavier or lighter, provided sets are taken close to failure. Well, that's the video. Peace! Actually, let's discuss a few things. First, should you still include heavy training in your program for muscle growth? Short answer, yeah, you probably should, at least if you're looking to optimize hypertrophy. In fact, a recent analysis by my good friend Zach Robinson from Data Driven Strength found that when combining a variety of rep ranges or combine a variety of intensities like heavier work, lighter work, etc., that seems to lead to more hypertrophy than if you just do one rep range, right? So doing some work in, say, the 5 to 10 rep range, some work in, say, the 10 to 20 rep range, and some work, say, in the 20 to 30 rep range, across a variety of intensities, so some heavier work, some lighter work, leads to more overall muscle growth than if you just did all of your work in that 5 to 10 rep range, that heavy rep range. And this actually makes sense even in light of some of the mechanistic data. So I recently read a paper by Wackerhaj and colleagues from 2021 looking at the mechanisms responsible for hypertrophy. Specifically, it looks like there are 3 categories of mechanisms that eventually lead to hypertrophy. The first one is tension and tension-related stuff. So essentially, by lifting weights, you're producing active tension to lift the weight, right? That will lead to hypertrophy down the line. Another thing that can lead to hypertrophy that's related to tension is the muscle lengthening. So you produce something called passive tension, kind of like a rubber band. As you lengthen a muscle, that results in passive tension buildup, and that can lead to hypertrophy. The second category is muscle damage related stuff. So it looks like muscle damage can potentially contribute to hypertrophy via stuff like proliferation of satellite cells. Complicated stuff, let's not go into it. And the third thing is metabolite related hypertrophy. So it looks like things like lactate presence and other metabolites may eventually lead to hypertrophy. Now, importantly, these 3 mechanisms don't occur in the same proportions regardless of the weight you train at. It's likely that, for example, the lighter rep ranges or training with lighter weights with more repetitions may lead to more metabolite accumulation, so thus can stimulate hypertrophy differently than heavier work would. And so it makes sense, since each rep range and each intensity stimulates hypertrophy differently via different mechanisms, that including a variety of rep ranges in your program would be superior for overall hypertrophy compared to just doing one. Now that we're clear on why you would want to include both heavy, moderate, and light training in your training program to optimize hypertrophy, let's discuss some of the pros and cons of heavy training itself. Let's start with the benefits of heavy training. The first one is, as I recently discussed in this video right here, with heavier work, say below 12 reps, it seems like people are more accurate at gauging how many more reps they could have done, right? So they're more accurate at gauging, I was 1 rep away from failure, or 2 reps, or 3 reps. And that is likely pretty important given that there's a relationship, as you can see here, between hypertrophy and how close to failure you train. So being pretty accurate in your estimation of how close to failure you are during heavy training is likely a benefit in trying to maximize hypertrophy. The second benefit is that heavier training results in less discomfort than lighter training. Picture this, you're in the gym, you're about to do some leg extensions. You want to train your quads, right? So you got 2 options. Either you do heavier work, say about 6 reps, or you do sets of about 30 reps, or lighter work. Generally, from the research we have and from anecdotal experience, doing that set of 30 is kind of going to suck. You're going to get a lot of burn, a lot of discomfort. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. And that actually might contribute to why people aren't as accurate at gauging reps in reserve at higher rep ranges. Meanwhile, the set of 6, you're in there for about 15 seconds and you're out. So overall, a lot more pleasant, a lot less discomfort compared to the lighter rep ranges. Now, this is less of a benefit for hypertrophy, but heavier training does carry over better to maximum strength. So let's say, for example, you're someone who both wants to grow some muscle, aka get yacked, but also wants to get some strength improvements, like you want to get a pretty big squat, a pretty big bench, pretty big deadlift, whatever you want to call it. In that case, heavier training, like say doing sets of 5, will generally carry over way better to your 1 rep max than doing, say, sets of 20 or 30 reps. So there is some benefit there in terms of strength. So if you have multiple goals, heavier training can be nice for you. Finally, heavier training is generally pretty well suited to compound exercises. If you think about compound exercises like the squat, sure, you might have seen that one random program where it has you do 4 sets of 20 on the squat. In all likelihood though, if you were to actually try doing that, doing high reps on compound exercises and going with lightweight, you'll find that it's extremely difficult, first of all in general, a lot of discomfort, and secondly, especially on compounds, it can be quite difficult to push yourself to failure with high reps. So lower reps can be a very nice way to do so, especially because compound exercises typically burn a lot of energy and require you to breathe quite a bit. And so pushing yourself to failure on compound exercises with high reps can be very difficult, and low reps or heavier training can be a nice way to get your compound work in and still get close to failure. Now, let's talk about some of the drawbacks of heavier training and some of the advantages of lighter training. The first one is that heavy training can be somewhat time inefficient. When you're training heavy, say doing a set of 5 on squats, it can take you quite a while to warm up for that exercise. You do 1 plate, you rest for a few minutes. You do 2 plates, you rest for a few minutes. You do 3 plates, and so forth. If you're working up to a heavy load, warming up can take a lot of time, and that warming up isn't directly contributing to you growing more muscle. In fact, it's taking up a lot of time for not much additional benefit, since as I mentioned earlier, on a set per set basis, heavier and lighter training are just as effective as each other for stimulating hypertrophy. Now, the second point is a bit more contentious. Heavier training may or may not be a bit more pain-inducing or injury-causing, and may or may not be a bit more difficult to do while you already have pain. Specifically, what I'm referring to here is there is some data showing that strength sports, like say strongman, powerlifting, and Olympic weightlifting, generally have higher injury rates than sports where the loading ranges are a bit lower, for example, bodybuilding. Now, there's a lot of confounders here, and this is observational, so I'm not gonna say training heavy is gonna injure you, but there is the chance that training heavier in general may cause slightly more injuries than training lighter. That's just something to keep in mind, and equally, when you're experiencing pain, you may find that it's quite difficult actually to train heavy, whereas doing sets of 20 or 30 oftentimes won't cause as much pain, and you can still get a robust hypertrophy stimulus from just going a bit lighter and a bit higher in reps. The third drawback of heavy training is equipment. If you're training in a home gym or what have you, you may find it very challenging to actually even find enough weight to train that heavy. If you have dumbbells that go up to say 30 kilograms or 50 pounds or whatever, you may find that for a lot of exercises, you don't get to train heavy. You have to do at least 15 reps. So training heavy, by default, requires you to have more equipment or more load available for you to make it work, compared to lighter training, where you can just do more reps and still get to failure. The final caveat to heavier training being a decent option for hypertrophy is that there is such a thing as being too heavy. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram, people doing triples on their fucking machine overhead press, when we both know that's probably not ideal. In fact, there's some research comparing sets of between about 2 and 4 repetitions to sets of about 8 to 12 repetitions, and it looks like to get the same effect from doing sets of 2 to 4 reps and 8 to 12 reps, generally, you need to do a lot more sets of 2 to 4 reps to get the same effect as you would get from sets of, say, 5 to 10. So in order to make up that difference, you would need to do more sets, which is more fatiguing, takes more time, and is generally just disadvantageous, right? So what I would do is I would generally, when you try to go heavy, go no lower than about 5 reps per set. Less than 5 reps per set, and you're likely wasting a bit of time and fatigue for not much additional benefit as far as hypertrophy is concerned. So what are some practical takeaways? You can still get really good growth just doing 1 rep range, so it could be just heavy training or just lighter training, but you should likely have some work from between 5 and 30 reps. If you're training heavy, don't go below about 5 reps. Below about 5 reps, you'll likely see less growth per set, and you would need to do a lot more sets to get the same hypertrophy benefit. In other words, that would take you more time, cause more fatigue, for in the end the same hypertrophy. So if your goal is hypertrophy, not the best idea. There's some advantages to training heavier, like for example, seeing a better carryover to your strength, like if you care about your 1 rep maxes, but there's some disadvantages too, in terms of potentially being more injurious, taking a bit more time to warm up for, and other stuff. Anyways, that's the video. If you're still my Mentzer fanboy, get out of my channel. For everyone else, stick around, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace.